Hello, my name is Gunnar Larson. Welcome to Baking in L.O.G. Today we're going to be making vanilla House Stark themed cupcakes. That's House Stark as in Game of Thrones, not Tony Stark from Marvel. So the ingredients that we're going to need to be able to make these cupcakes are 2 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/2 cup of softened butter, 2 eggs, a whole cup of sugar. I like my cupcake sweet, so I'm gonna have a full cup and not 3/4 of a cup, 1 cup of milk, and then 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I use vanilla extract in my cupcakes because it's a pure vanilla, and I just prefer it. It tastes a lot better. Alright, so you're gonna need to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 150 degrees Celsius. Alright, so the items that you're going to need in order to bake these cupcakes are going to be 2 large mixing bowls, a spatula, a whisk, and I'm going to use an electric mixer to mix the ingredients together. When you're done mixing them together, you're also going to need to pour them into a cupcake pan with cupcake liners in them. This cupcake recipe usually makes 20 to 25 cupcakes, so you're probably going to need 2 of these. Alright, let's start mixing the ingredients together. Alright, so now we're going to start mixing our ingredients together. I'm going to start with the dry ingredients first. I always start with them first because you get to mix your ingredients together really well and make sure that there's a good consistency and they're all well combined before you start adding in your wet ingredients. And because my mom told me to. So, we're going to start with the flour. Then we're going to add our salt. And then last we're going to add our baking powder. And with a spatula, we're going to mix it together and make sure everything's well combined. Alright, so now we're going to start mixing our wet ingredients together. We're going to start with our softened butter and our sugar. And we're going to beat them together until they're light and fluffy. Alright, so now that your butter and your sugar is beat together so it's light and fluffy, we are now going to add in 1 egg, and mix together until it's combined. And now we're going to add in our other egg. And mix together until it's well combined. Alright, so now that our eggs, butter, and sugar are mixed together, I'm going to take a spatula and I'm going to scrape off the sides of the beater to make sure I get all the ingredients in the bowl, and I'm going to scrape the sides to get all the stuff that's on the sides of the bowl down into the middle where we can mix everything together. Now that that's done, we're going to start alternately mixing our milk and our dry ingredients together into this mixture. Starting with our dry ingredients first. And then add some milk. And then some dry ingredients. And you're going to continue doing this until all your ingredients are in the big pan together. Now we're going to scrape the sides again, just to make sure that we get all of our batter on the middle. And our last ingredient that we need to add is going to be our vanilla extract. And we're going to mix this with the rest of the batter until it's well combined. Alright, so now that everything's mixed together, we're going to start pouring the batter into our cupcake pan. It dawned on me through the process that I'm going to need to use an ice cream scoop. It's going to be the best way to make sure I have even amounts of batter in each cupcake pan holder, and it's just really easy to use this. So I'm going to take a scoop, let some of it drip off here, go to the first cupcake, pour the batter in, next scoop, next cupcake, and so forth until all of them are filled up. Alright, so now that all of our cupcake batter is poured into our pans, I had to put these in the middle and fill these with the water because we didn't have enough batter to do all 12 cupcakes in the second pan. So we only have 18 right now. But I filled the outside cupcake holders with water so that the cupcakes in the middle will bake evenly instead of just all the heat kind of going right for the cupcakes. Alright, so now we're going to put them in the oven. You're going to put the pans in long ways. And when you put your pans in, make sure they do not touch the oven or themselves. And then you're going to bake for 18 minutes. So now that our cupcakes are done, I'm going to reach in there. Got my oven mitts on. These are very important. You're going to reach in there. You're going to grab one tray. You're going to bring them over. And I've got these cooling racks that I'm going to set them on. Now I'm going to go get the other ones. The ones with the water in them, the water will not evaporate, so be very careful because the water is going to be very hot. And you're going to let them cool for quite a bit. Alright, so now that our cupcakes have cooled, it's time to start frosting them. I just have regular store-bought frosting, and what you're going to do is you're going to scoop some frosting up. Don't let it drip on the countertop, and you're just going to start spreading it on the cupcake. The key to this is you want to make sure that all the cupcake is covered with the frosting, at least the top of it, and you need to make sure that some of the frosting is thick enough to where our House Stark sigil candies are going to stick onto the top of it. And you're just going to continue doing this until all of the cupcakes are frosted completely. Alright, so now that your cupcakes have been frosted, we're going to take candy coated, like melted candy, melted chocolate, and I have a template underneath of here of the Stark design, and I put wax paper over it, and I just traced with this, filled it in, and with a toothpick, I smoothed it out to make sure that all the holes were filled. There's 8 House Stark sigils, and there's 13 cupcakes. So I'm gonna write Stark on 5 of them, and then the rest of these will be put on the remaining 8 cupcakes. And with the chocolate, it's so great, like the melted chocolate, it like hardens really fast. Like I just did these, and they just come right up. And see, they look pretty bad like this, but when you flip them back over, they look pretty smooth and they look good. So I'm just gonna set them down and lightly press. Pick the next one up, set it down and lightly press. Try to get the next one up. Be careful so you make sure you don't break them because they are gonna be a bit fragile. Alright, now that our cupcakes are done, you can see we got our Dire Wolf's House Stark sigil along with our family name. I had a blast making these today, guys. Thanks for joining me. If you liked the video, leave a like right down there, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a nice night.